Vital's B Practice podcast is proudly sponsored by Maxxis, BergTech, and Industry 9. As most of you know, tires play a huge part in deciding if you make it down a section of trail and control or end up bonsaiing to the bottom on your head. Tires are not the place to cut corners, and Maxxis offers a massive range of models to meet the needs of any rider. They've built their name through racing at the highest levels of the sport, and you can visit your local shop or favorite online retailer to get the same tread patterns and compounds used by the fastest racers in the world. And if it were up to me, you can't go wrong with an ASCII up front and a DHR2 in the rear. Make sure to head to maxxis.com for more. With the tagline Labor of Love, BergTech isn't shy about the countless hours they've invested in developing components that they feel offer riders a true technical advantage. Based in the UK and born out of a passion for mountain biking and racing, BergTech produces a ton of trick parts, from bars, stems, and grips to anodized axles, shock hardware, and saddles. The cockpit of choice for the Santa Cruz Syndicate and many other riders. Make sure to check out BergTech the next time you want to give your bike some deserving love. Tested, machined, anodized, and hand-built by fellow mountain bikers in Asheville, North Carolina, Industry 9 wheels and hubs have become synonymous with quality and durability. I don't know if there is a noise as iconic as the buzz of an Industry 9 hub. They offer wheels for every budget and riding discipline, from dirt jumping to gravel riding or e-biking, plus you can get crazy with customized hub and individual spoke colors. So if you've been dying to build that Rasa-themed bike or some sweet rainbow wheels, Industry 9 has got you covered. Make sure to head to industry9.com to learn more. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Vital MTB's B Practice podcast, presented by Maxxis, BergTech, and Industry 9. I'm Jason Schroeder, as always, joined by Tanner Stevens and Dakota Norton. Today, we're also joined by U.S. downhill racer and Commencal-Muc-Off's latest edition, Dylan Maples. Dylan, thank you for joining us, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Stoked to be here.
Heck yeah, dude. Stoked to have you as well. My first question is, you've been in Europe for the last month, probably. What do you do when you get home? Like, how you been passing time?
I just been chilling, riding my bike, and I actually got sick when I came home, so that kind of sucked. So a lot of Netflix and chilling, and then pedaling the trail bike and hopped on the road bike today, and not a whole lot.
Sick. Dude, a lot of people seem like they were sick in Leger.
Yeah.
Shitty. Not COVID. COVID's not
No,
a thing.
it definitely wasn't COVID. Nobody tested positive. Nobody.
Dude, I just had strep throat. I feel like I'm in middle school. So
Did you get tested?
I got tested for strep, and it was actually negative, but they just still gave me antibiotics.
It's because you had COVID.
Dang. Yeah, well, that sounds good. I'm sure it's refreshing to be home. I was like kind of browsing through the races you've been doing lately, and like I forgot you were in Whistler for Crankworks and bouncing all around. So
Yeah, I think I was gone like just under 2 months.
damn.
So it's quite a bit since Whistler. I flew out from like Whistler to Worlds, and then went from Worlds to Morzine, and then Andorra and the rest of them.
Damn.
Jeez. Dylan, what's the first thing you do when you hop off that plane? Like, what's your go-to routine before you get back to the crib?
Hop in the car and then hit the Habit. I don't know if you guys have that in
the burger
Tennessee,
spot.
but yeah, burger spot.
Yeah, I don't think you got that in Tennessee.
Bro, I got straight off the plane and drove straight to Aubrey's for two of those big, cold, frosty mug Sweetwater IPAs and a Thunder Road burger.
Wow.
Thunder Road Burger. Jesus Christ.
Let me tell you,
That's a different world you live in, boy.
brother.
Little sponsor
Dude.
plug here. What is this?
Yeah.
No, dude. I'm just saying, like, dude, when you get off the plane, when you like put boots on the ground, and that routine of going home, that's a special time. To have it.
Dude, yeah. 2 months is a long ass time. I was just at press camp for 4 days, and I was pumped to be back home. But I do kind of, I mean, anytime you go to Europe, it's quite the lifestyle shift. So
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool.
yeah. Well, I kind of want to start from the top a little bit because I don't know you terribly well, and you want to take us through just kind of where you're from, when you started racing, and kind of how you ended up racing World Cups?
Yeah, I grew up doing like a lot of other sports. Like I wrestled from like second grade through high school, played soccer for like 10 years or whatever. And yeah, like bikes were always like there. Like I raced BMX as a kid a little bit, and then got more into like dirt jumping, and somehow got into like a bit of downhill too, like up at North Star.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of went off from there. More of like free ride at the beginning,
Okay.
like tricks and just free ride stuff, and then
Stunting.
slowly got into racing. I think like 4 years ago it was. Did my first Northwest Cup. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, and then just kind of hopped straight into Junior World Cup for my second year. First year, that's when I started doing the Northwest Cups, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that, and then kind of took off from there.
Dang. Dude, that's crazy because you started racing pretty much after Jason and I were already like completely done
Mhm.
racing.
I feel old.
Yeah. I don't think of that as that long ago, but
Yeah, for sure. I was looking you up on Roots and Rain, and you have a bunch of the North Star downhill series races.
Yeah.
And that was the first downhill race I ever did, but in 2010. Which is funny because back then, like Austin Warren, Cody Kelly, Richie Rude, like those names is kind of like the era we were coming up in. And I remember all of them had been racing for 5 years, it felt like. And I felt so behind the curve, but it took me way more years to get to World Cups than 4 or 5, whatever it is for you. It's a pretty quick progression for sure. What if you were doing more like free ride stuff, what made you decide to try racing?
I don't know. I think just like we did like I did some of the like North Star downhill races, and then I think I just kind of like that. I'm a very competitive person, so I think like that competitiveness and everything just really stuck, and just fell in love with racing.
Sick. Hell yeah. And where are you from again?
Sacramento.
Okay. Oh man, we got the Team NorCal versus Team SoCal.
Rivals.
Yeah. We've recruited Tanner. I don't really know where his heart lies these days.
Where's my A's hat? It's right around here somewhere.
So you are wearing a SoCal Speed Team shirt right now.
I'm on the board of directors, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to come out with our merch soon.
Yeah. Get that NorCal Speed Team going.
Team NorCal.
It's Team _NorCal.
Yeah.
Is that an Insta page?
It's like a meme page.
Okay.
It's a good one though. It's way better than SoCal.
They've got the monkeys.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I love it. Shit. Well, dang, that's crazy. You only started doing like 2021 was junior year for World Cups.
Yeah.
So that means last year was first year elite. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that go? I was looking that up as well, and like it looked like you kind of struggled to qualify, and then the end of the year, like Snowshoe and Mont-Saint-Anne, you qualified and had pretty solid results. Did that just kind of build coming into this season, or?
Yeah, like at the beginning of last year, I don't know. I just kept like, I don't know if I wasn't like, I don't know, like the confidence wasn't there. And I would just come into like qualifying, just thinking like I had to like put it all together and just have like the run of my life to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would just kept like pushing way too hard. And then I just put myself on the ground like all those first few races. And then slowly by the end, like toned it back and started like building, and then started qualifying and doing a little bit better there. And then I don't know, this year just I don't know. It's been pretty good. Like first one I didn't qualify though. But after that, just doing my thing, and it was working.
Yeah. It seems, I feel like time and then getting the chance to go to some of the venues a second or third time now always helps. Like I know that for all of us, like when we first started, it was huge. You just go back somewhere familiar and you're like, all right, I kind of know the vibe and the groove and what this weekend's going to be like and all that stuff. That's pretty nuts. Well, how did you go then from not qualifying at the first one and then like, shit, we'll probably get into how your season's been going now, but it seems like an interesting way to kick off the year, but then be able to kind of bounce back from that. I think it's just the same thing. You just had the confidence going and knew that you could get into the semis and finals and all that.
Yeah, like coming into the season, like I felt like really good, like rode a bunch on the off season, trained, gym a lot, and everything was feeling really good. And then I don't know, Lenzerheide just times were super tight, and I felt like I had a good run, and it ended up like 72nd or whatever. And then next one, just I don't know, like same thing, and ended up being better than that, and then qualify and went from there.
Yeah, that's sweet. I know I was looking at that, like 5 out of the 6 World Cups this year you qualified for, and I think last year it was like 2 out of the 6 or 7 or however many there were.
Yeah.
Even that alone is pretty huge. Here's a question I'm just thinking of randomly. What's your kind of take on semifinals as a rider who maybe you're trending as being pretty consistently in finals, but maybe coming into this year would be on that bubble? Like, how are you thinking about that coming into this year?
Yeah, like honestly, like after last year, especially, like, I mean, I didn't really think I was like a top 30 rider, you know, like I was just trying to make it like in that top 60. So like first like semifinal top 30, like it definitely makes like those people think a lot more about like racing. Like if you're not going to make like close to that top 30, and then
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. It was 80 when we were trying to race. My best World Cup finish ever is 30th, which means I would have been dead last in finals now.
Yeah,
That's just real shit to think about. Not much to hang my hat on anymore.
Dude, it's still weird for me, even like getting ready to do the semifinal. Like, I feel like you don't want to cruise and then be bumped out of it, but it like pushes you in going pretty close to race pace. And then it's like almost like you do your race run, what you would have done, and then you have to go do another race run. How is that for you, Dylan? Like, what's your feeling on that? Like when you get done with semi and you're like, oh well, we still have to race again.
Yeah, it's like weird, like mentally, like you just had like a good run, like got in, and then you're like, all right, I have to do that again, but try to go even faster. It's just like kind of a lot. And then especially like privateer, like getting your bike ready and everything. Like luckily, like I had like decent support, like really good support from like Commencal, like at the other rounds, just like the privateer stuff, having like a mechanic and everything that will help. But like for like a true like privateer, like getting your bike cleaned, getting it ready to go again, like, and then getting some food or like drink or whatever and heading back up to do your warm up for the second time of the day is quite a bit, I feel like.
Yeah. Like for you guys, like Commencal has a neutral support. Is that pretty solid for like all the, I guess, like more so privateer kind of like, because are you on Commencal technically, like at the beginning of the season, was it Commencal USA?
Yeah, just like frame sponsor. And then like they have that tent over there that for all their neutral privateers, all their countries and stuff. And then they have like a mechanic and some snacks, food, and spot for us to put our stuff, tools, and everything. So it definitely helps out.
That's pretty dialed.
Dude, that's a huge help.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Especially coming from like US, like bringing like a bearing press or whatever, like just stuff like you would never really like think or like want to bring over, but then like bearings are shot, you want to replace them. So stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. Remember just trying to hide like our stuff in bushes and like put your spare wheels behind like a tent and hope they're there at the end of the day.
Yeah, right. A lot of Oh yeah, I remember getting to Europe once and then not having a pump, and I think Dak and I went to some bike shop in Andorra maybe and bought like a super tiny shitty pump, and I used that for like 5 years afterwards. It survived for so long, but you like just to bring a pump if you're flying with a bike bag and you're like tight on weight and space, like yeah, the little things start to add up real quick. That's cool they did that. I had no idea Commencal offered that. Are you usually at the races just solo or traveling with friends or family or anything?
Yeah, I travel with my mom.
Cool.
She books everything, does all that stuff. She cooks.
Sick.
So team manager is pretty nice.
That's a
that's
sweet
clutch.
setup.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, going from your Commencal USA deal and now doing a fill-in setup with Commencal-Muc-Off, talk through kind of how that whole opportunity came about.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, but
yeah,
after after Ludenville, just driving to Leger, and then Thibaut, the manager, DM'd me, and then I didn't even see the DM, and then I got a text from like our race support guy, Eric. I was like, hey, like you might want to check your DMs. You got one from Thibaut, the Commencal-Muc-Off manager, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I opened it, and it's like it was that about like filling in for them for the ride and stuff for the rest of the season. And I was like, just in absolute shock. Like my mom took like the wrong turn off the road. We're supposed to just in shock, didn't know what to do, and then yeah, it's pretty sick, super cool.
Hell yeah,
dude, that's so rad.
Yeah, I went to met up with them in Leger, and then I think like the next day they built up a bike and we went to Morzing to go test it out.
Sweet. How does that work with if Commencal for you with Commencal USA is a frame only deal? You have individual sponsors as well. Were like most of those brands cool with kind of letting you take this opportunity for the time being?
Yeah, I just shot them all emails and talked with them, and yeah, I think everybody really understands the opportunity that this really is, so they were all on board.
Sick. That's so cool. I think we might have talked about it on the after Leger podcast or after Ludenville, just about you getting on that whole setup, and like I don't know if it's happened too much in the past or not a whole lot, so it's cool just to see a team do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's it so you're still like on the same generation frame, but you have all new parts now, right?
Yeah, every part's different besides the frame.
Crazy. How's that? Like I mean, you're going from like Fox to RockShox, SRAM to TRP. I think you've ran TRP probably in the past.
Yeah, I ran it last year, but like the main thing I think was the suspension, like, and then bars, wheels, everything's different. But yeah, like I came from the RockShox 35 mil stanchions to 40, and I definitely felt a bit stiff, just difference. So I was definitely took a little bit to get used to.
Yeah, because you were on Olin's before that, right?
Yeah, I was on Olin's last year, and then RockShox this year, and then on the Fox.
Just the whole spread.
Yeah.
Man.
Would you say the suspension's been just the most time invasive to kind of get set up, or has there been one part of it that's maybe difficult to kind of get up to speed? I mean, it seemed hard to spend a day or whatever it was you did testing and then go right into a World Cup.
Yeah, and especially Leger, like the lift took like 30 minutes with no line, so getting laps and like tweaking stuff was a bit hard. But yeah, I think like just the feel, like the different, like even if like the suspension's dialed, like everything's set up perfectly, like I think coming into it, like it's definitely still going to feel different than the bike I've ridden all year. So I think that's probably the toughest part, is just feeling it out and getting like up to like race pace on like a completely different build feel wise.
Yeah, for sure. Damn. Yeah, that seems stressful. So I'm assuming you're back at home and able to continue like getting set up and all of that dialed in?
Yeah, I spent like 3 or 4 days in Morzine after Leger, just riding the bike, just getting a better feel for it. And then just came home and then didn't bring a bike home, and then I'll just fly out for a snowshoe.
Sick.
Yeah,
right on. Why didn't you go to the US Open?
Just wanted to be home.
Yeah,
My original plan was, but then I wouldn't even go home until after MSA. So that would have been like,
oh man,
2.5 or something months.
Freaking this globe trotting. You don't want to try to take Dax 15 Gs? Come on.
Yeah.
Although he's got to put a roof on his house.
There's plenty of dudes here to take that money. Let me tell you, there's plenty of hitters.
He's gonna contend against the 16-year-old
and Greg Menard.
Why do I feel like that's not as much of a threat?
Remy Meyer-Smith.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the 16-year-old's more of a threat than Greg Menard.
He's gonna hear that.
Is he?
He's not gonna be happy.
Is Greg Menard listens here?
Nah, you never know, dude. You never know. You don't want Greg Menard on your front porch knocking on your door.
That's a pretty.
Yeah, I've ridden with Greg Menard in Oakland.
Oh,
he used to be an Oaktown dog.
That
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense,
dude. He's him and I are tight.
It's Dylan. It's after spending that many like, even though you have your mom with you, and so you definitely have some convenience and you've had some help. Like, just what do you think about, like, I know when I got home, like all of last week, I think I slept more than I've ever slept. I felt like I was hungover for like a week of my life. Like, it was definitely very, like, I'm not going to say traumatizing, but the emotional roller coaster you go through of racing a World Cup, let alone 3 World Cups back to back. How do you feel? Like, obviously you had a lot of changes and you had some conveniences, but do you feel like the racing really affects you and that time at home is pretty critical to be able to like reset and go racing again?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think I took probably like the most naps of my life, like this week.
Yeah.
Like I took like, I think a nap today even. Like, I don't really take that many naps, but like, I think it was also sickness too, but it was like 2 or 3 naps a day even.
Dude, I was
Crazy.
sleeping like 9 hours a night and waking up, and I just felt like I had literally just laid down and I had slept 4 hours.
Yeah.
I think that, like, overall, like, when you do go race these World Cups, a lot of people don't realize, like, like, it's physical to ride down the tracks, but to the place you have to get yourself in to, like, mentally to do a World Cup race run. Like, sometimes I feel like desensitized from a lot of different things, like, at the race. And then, like, it took me, like, when I crashed at Leger, riding down the track after I had crashed, knowing that I was just, like, not going in to race that at race pace, how gnarly that actually is. Because usually you do your race run, it's over, and then you move on, but you never really, like, that first lap race morning, and then as you get up to speed on race day is, like, a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really realize that. Do you think now that you're in a little different environment, does it help you prepare yourself to be in that mental place? Or is it pretty hard for you? Like, how does that, being in that environment and having that program around you, have you noticed a difference?
I think it was hard to like say really with like the first week, because I just had like I've never had that many cameras on me in my life, like so many cameras, interviews, everything, like, so it was just all like a bit stressful for sure. So like, I think as it goes on, maybe it'll get easier being in that, but we'll see.
Yeah, there was like a clip of you pulling into the pit like after a run or something, and there was the whole team just like right there, and it's like, I can only imagine like how terrifying that would be. Like, I just did a run, like all these people asking you things, and you're like I don't know, bike feels good.
Yeah, especially like all these people that you like look up to and everything, and they're doing. Yeah, it's just a lot to take in.
That sounds a little hectic. No paparazzi. What
Do you think it's pretty critical to have that week at home to reset, reflect, and then like to be able to wrap your head around what the level of an opportunity you have, and then like almost just formulate a game plan to go into the next few races
Yeah, I
and
think
try to
for
like
sure.
utilize that?
Yeah, see my family, like just eat out, have dinner with my family, and just hang out and reset, refocus, and take it all in, and then like start fresh again and get back to racing.
What
Yeah.
oh,
Go on.
I was gonna say, outside of the bike and changes with parts and all that, what was the coolest difference from going from kind of a privateer setup to like full factory? I mean, you're getting like 4-course meals, you're getting massages, like what's
I
that
think
like?
just like the mechanic.
Okay.
So like just so nice, like having somebody there like only for you. Like they're like as soon as I come down from the run, he just like takes the bike, checks everything, checks it over, asks if I want to change anything, how it feels, this, that. And then like when it was like tight in between runs, like he would go up to the bottom of the finish and like work on it there so I could just go right back up and everything. So just having that was super, super nice compared to doing it myself or asking the mechanic there to do it.
Yep. Dang, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool to me. Do most of the, like, does that mechanic and most of that team speak English? Because I know it's like predominantly a French team.
Yeah, most of them know like decent English, I would say. I think my mechanic probably knows, or he knows good English. I'd say
more than you know French.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's like curveball actually speaks
Miriam
French.
was trying to teach me some sentences, but I already forgot them.
Yeah, right. You're like, I ain't retaining this.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Tanner, before I cut you off?
I was gonna ask like a similar question. Like, how was it having? I guess like because there was like Miriam, like kind of like Tebow and like the Ruffin Bros or whatever, and like everyone there that has so much experience racing and like racing at a high level, like having access to that.
Yeah, it was super nice. Like they were on track too most of the time during practice.
Them
so,
boys are on track, and they're the last ones down every day and videotape everything. They know the track better than anyone riding it.
Yeah, so they like send me all like the details, and it's pretty cool like having that. I've never really had that much like at my fingertips when I'm going up the lift and he's saying one thing and I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And then going in like the next lap, like it's just crazy having all that.
Yeah, that's wild. Does it thinking of myself and how I would think about that opportunity, is there a little bit of pressure to maximize it, or is it more just trying to kind of enjoy the opportunity and just take it for what it is?
Like they say like no pressure, like I'm doing them a favor, like almost like in that sense, like it's super cool like that, but like I don't think you could say that. Like I can't say I didn't feel it like when I'm in the pit, have all like these people helping me and then going up the lift for my race run or whatever, and then I have like the two mechanics up there, the trainer, media person's up there. Like I think it definitely gets in your head when you have like that much help from everybody. But it's good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's something that people probably you don't think about that factor on top of all the other factors with racing. But I have to think, doing Leger, you're also like in Leger of all places too. Like it's pretty crazy of a race, but coming home, having a reset, and then doing 2 North American rounds, I bet it'll feel a bit more comfortable or whatever. You do it once, the second time's always a little easier, sort of a thing. Some of those pressures kind of wash away. So, yeah, that'll be good. How are you feeling going into like the next 2 rounds? I mean, you did well there last year. Does that help with confidence and everything?
Yeah, I feel good. It'd be cool. US round, like US fans and everything. I think it'll be sick.
What do you think of Snowshoe?
Yeah. Do you like this place? Is this fun?
You can be honest.
Middle of nowhere. So that's not ideal. Like the friggin' cellular service doesn't even work out there.
Yeah. What they don't tell you.
The reverse mountain. I don't know how I feel about that.
The mountain's upside down.
2 restaurants.
Yeah, a lot of rocks.
It's impressively flat. Like there's one steep section and then it's flat everywhere else. I don't know. I can't talk too much because I've already talked all the shit on Snowshoe in the past, but I was always surprised when like we're gonna do a World Cup here. And I'm like, that's not a good way to show US downhill. Like everybody.
Where else would you go though? Where would be a better round?
I think
what is
Purgatory.
Exactly. I heard Purgatory's sick.
Purgatory.
A few places in Vermont. Like
I would say Killington from the top if they built a new track.
No, what's the other?
There's Sugarbush.
I think it's Sugarbush I've been to.
Or
it was a
Thunder.
really big mountain and cool. Like it was pretty sick. I mean, dude, there's got to be, I don't know, stuff in Washington or somewhere. What?
But there's not.
Snoqualmie would be sick. Snoqualmie would be sick. I rode Snoqualmie 2 weeks ago and it was dope.
Let's just get a North Star round. We did an EWS there.
Dude,
Death
come
Star.
on. Let's get a North Star
The
round,
Death
guys.
Star.
Send it right down Vietnam.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to make it straight because it is so flat.
I know. I can't recommend that after saying that Snowshoe is too flat.
And North Star is steeper than Snowshoe, but like it's still really flat.
What's your favorite trail at North Star?
I gotta go with Live Wire.
I thought you would say it. I mean, it's not. It's an easy. It's not a cop out, but it is a good trail.
What about like upper carp to speed control? And then
that's good. That's good.
What is that trail on the other side we rode that had boulders in the bottom of every corner as big as my head?
That's lower carp. That's Vietnam to yeah, Vietnam.
You weren't a fan?
Dude, I thought I was gonna lose my life in a straightaway 100 times.
Oh man, dude,
lean back, dude, hold it on.
It's one of a kind.
Yeah, you just go.
One of a kind.
People don't know, you know.
They know now.
If they've been, they fucking know.
Yeah, river sticks would be insane.
Like, dude, that thing's so gnarly, dude.
Is that a trail?
Just foot deep of powder.
It's just powder the whole way down. It's like literally like powder skiing.
Yeah, there's just rocks, hidden little rocks underneath to catch you, toss you.
Yeah.
That's a place that I never understood because it snows there, and then in the summer it's the siltiest dirt of all time. Like it doesn't pack in or something. It made no sense. You're just choking on dust all day. How does Leger compare? I've never been there. Is it like kind of that dry? Maybe not North Star, but like let's just call it dry California riding. NorCal gets dry in the summer now. It gets loose.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Doesn't Livewire have a irrigation system?
It doesn't work though.
It works in like a few spots
like
only.
Muddy
it just makes
dust.
puddles.
Yeah, exactly.
Puddles.
Great concept. Hard to
Dude,
execute.
crazy guy over here was riding on a trail bike the other day. I saw that.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Sounds rough.
Oh man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
So here's the question.
How did we end up here?
Have you rode downhill? So you haven't rode downhill since you've been home. You ride probably one of the sickest mountains on debatably one of the sickest bikes on the circuit. And on probably I'm on a pretty sick team, I think, and like that's still one of those teams that I would consider like pretty next level. And like, I mean, obviously, I don't
Team
know if a
rumors?
lot of people no.
Oh.
There are rumors, but I don't think that's one. I don't think they want anything to do with Biobath.
You cut out of the most convenient time. I don't know. I think you were saying something about teams, but
So
And yourself.
yeah. But you're on this team. A lot of people don't understand. They have probably the Ruffin brothers are some of the best trackside people and spend probably more time on the track than anybody. I think it's like 6 o'clock at night and I'm rolling down and they're still up there walking down the track looking at things. You have suspension engineers. Arthur is probably one of the best suspension engineers, I would think, in World Cup downhill racing. Did you get to have any of those boys put data on the bike, or was it pretty much just like, here you go, ride it and ride this line that we tell you to? Or are you able to give quite a bit of feedback?
They were really like interested in like what I thought of it too. So it was like bouncing back and forth. So that was cool, just like talking and stuff. I didn't run data.
Okay.
Maybe at the next round or something, but I think it was just trying to get some time on the bike.
Overall, just be
or
able to
anything.
get you on the bike. I just didn't know if you guys did any
not
work.
overwhelm you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they can do a lot of things, but the reality is like they've come to a conclusion that this is pretty good, I'm sure. And like they
Yeah.
have a good, like a lot of people don't realize that these big teams have just as much like racecraft and knowledge over the years from the amount of riders that they've worked with as the rider has racecraft and knowledge. And I think a lot of the teams have a pretty good idea of what's going to go fast and what's going to lead to good results in terms of like bike setup and bike setup. So it's pretty interesting to hear.
Yeah, like the first day, like I rolled like my bike over and then he like felt it and measured it and stuff, and then he pretty much just set up the other bike. But yeah, like didn't ask me like, well, like I don't even know anything about like Fox. Like I rode it like maybe like 6 years ago on a 26-inch downhill bike. So like they just set up everything and then just handed me the bike and just had me ride and feel it out and come back to them with what I thought of and any changes I wanted.
That's pretty
I
sweet.
guess that's better than you rolling your bike over and him measuring and feeling it and just like shaking his head like, this is all wrong.
No.
Yeah, like
No.
he felt my brakes and then like there's like quite a bit of like throwing them. Like it pulls quite a bit. And he's like, you like this? And then I was like, oh, like I kind of run it like that because I can't really get it the other way without like making my rotor rub, you know? Like cause like so then he was like, oh, like ours will be a little bit more touchy. And I was like, okay, that's better.
Oh, that is pretty entertaining. Don't worry, I got you. Oh man. I was watching some videos on YouTube, particularly a Commencal one of you and Austin Dooley, I think from last year, riding trail bikes. And my only note is that you just need to be making more videos. Because you're one of the racers. Commencal is they're really good at picking out dudes like you that are sick at racing, but possibly just sicker at riding. You got anything like in the works for this off season?
Yeah, I think I have shooting something like right when I get back or soon after I get back, and then maybe something a little bit later, but we'll see.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I definitely want to do some more filming and videos.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, dude. That shit's sweet. I feel like World Cups and the coverage of it kind of does a bad job of showing how talented riders are, not just going fast. Even you, Dakota. I'd love to see more of. I saw a pump track edit of you, and I was like, look at him go. He still got it.
He can still ride a hardtail.
Old man could still ride one.
Yeah. No, dude, but Commencal, they have some they've had a lot of very sick riders in the last so many years. And dude, that video of you in Austin, I was like, where the fuck is this rut track? I need to go find this thing.
Dude, it was like right by my house, like 5 minutes.
Did you build that, or who dug that?
Dude, I dug like some of the ones, but then like the main one that we like shot like the beginning on, we dug it like that week. Like we filmed in a week, and we literally like I think it was me, Austin, and then we had like 2 filmers, and we just dug for like 2 days, and it was pouring down rain like the whole time. Like it was miserable. And then like when it was finished, like there was ruts and everything. And yeah, it was gnarly.
Yeah, that's sick. It looked cool. At one point I was like, is this like an old Seminuk line? Because I remember him having like a crisscrossy kind of vibe with one of his videos. But yeah, the tall grass and like dark dirt looked pretty rad.
Yeah, we
very
made
NorCal.
We like but we remade it like way sicker with some other buddies and stuff.
Cool.
But then it got destroyed, so it's a bummer.
R.I.P.
Nosed.
Oh, really?
Nosed.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's funny. You guys have any questions?
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Get in
I
there.
got something. So we would consider you like
No.
a part of
Run
this
that back.
new generation of American fast guys. What happened?
I think
The dog
you
barking?
cut out a little bit.
You cut
Just
out.
run for the top.
No. Why? Hold on. Have I been chopping out this whole time?
No, just when you were talking about teams for next year. And
Only when it gets juicy.
So what are we considering Dylan part of?
So Dylan is a part of I would consider him a part of this new young age group of American shredders that are coming up. Do you think that, like, obviously you've explained that you're maybe one of the only downhill NorCal boys, but do you think this current group of dudes that are pushing each other has like an influence on your riding at home and at the World Cups? Like, what's the deal with the boys coming through, them young bucks?
Yeah, I think for sure, like pulling up to like national races and you got like quite a bit of fast guys there, like, and if you get beat, like going back home, it makes you want to go that much faster, and then you're all like not necessarily racing each other at like the World Cup, but everybody sees how all of us are stacking up like at a proper track, proper World Cup track, like and race. So I think it definitely like everybody's competitive and everybody wants to beat each other, but yeah, I think it's good for the US guys.
So you were on a team with old duels for a little bit there for a minute. And you kind of did your thing with some other SoCal boys. Do you think that there's like any sort of like do you guys push each other? Do you feel like having like that, like, because obviously there's like, I feel like there's like Aaron, Luca, me, and Charlie was in there for a minute, but we were kind of those older dogs, you know, that you coming up, I guess, would want to beat, right, and be stoked when you can like get one of the boys. But then do you have like competition with that younger group of dudes too, with like dually and stuff? Do you guys kind of compete a little bit like within your like kind of age range of dudes you've kind of come up with?
I think yeah, like we definitely do, but like nobody's like saying it like much, but like bragging, oh, like I got you this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Like
maybe you should.
Like it's there, like everybody sees it, but like we're all like homies and stuff, so it's like friendly.
But I think that competition has been like a big part of like that group of dudes. Like, even though it's friendly battles, of course, but it is like still competition. You guys ride together, and like obviously it seems like you guys share a lot of information together with like you, Irv, and that group of dudes. So, but do you think there's do you think that's pushed you to like help make the next jump? Because you guys have kind of all stepped up your speed together at the same time. Do you think that's like a part of it, like having a group of dudes you're traveling and just kind of like having a good time, but like grinding with?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. Yeah, like I've like spent like quite a bit of time like in between races with those guys too, just riding Morzine, riding all these places. So yeah.
The real question is, who do you hate getting beat by?
Yes. This is we're getting down to it now.
Yes, we're.
Here's the nitty gritty.
Dak just won't
I
say
don't
it.
know. I don't know.
I'll say
all
who
of
I
them.
hate it.
All of them.
Yes.
I want to beat all of them.
That's the right answer. Correct answer.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Dante and Dooley that were really close last
They
year?
were super close.
Yeah.
The last like 5 years, they've always just been right next to each other.
I would straight up be lying to the other person about lines and shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'd be showing them that GoPro where you had the off track. You're like, oh yeah, this line is way better, and you hit that like I'm never hitting that again. Like I'm gonna get him this week. I just oh yeah, dude, this line's way better. I pulled you so hard.
Oh, that's pretty freaking funny.
That's good.
Man. Yeah, Dylan, when you're there's not too many downhill boys from Northern California, and you ride mostly with the enduro guys. Why do you think there's not too many downhill guys?
I don't know. I think just enduro is taking over here. It's just.
Is there more
I don't really
trails
know.
like to ride? Like, do you go shuttle downhill bikes much in the off season, or?
Yeah, I do. Just like with the few enduro guys, but I think that probably also has to do with it too. Like we really don't have that much like shuttle trails like that SoCal does. Like they have like well-known spots that are like shuttleable and year-round and big groups of them, and like we really don't have like shuttle trails like that. Just maybe some secret stuff, but
yeah.
Have you considered going to like Windrock or something in the off season?
Like
Or wherever people go now?
That long pause was like,
I definitely like have, but like at the same time, like it's just you're just gone for a while, like before the season. I think like just going to like Europe, I think would be better. Just go to Europe for like a month before the season, and just train out there
grind.
rather than like Windrock. I think Windrock is like super sick spot and everything, but I
It's
don't know
good
if
for the winter, but it still ain't the same.
yeah,
Like it isn't Europe.
yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good pro tip right there. That's smart.
It'd be smart of someone who's racing World Cups to go to Europe for a month.
But
for
then
the
it just
season, and
costs a lot of money too, though.
That's
depending on
true.
where you go, it could be cheaper than staying in the U.S.
Yeah,
Dude,
guess.
I don't know. You got to fly a bunch. It's more the baggage, like baggage
flying into
and the
Knoxville
rental
is not
car,
cheap.
and like no,
Or
it's
driving.
not. But like, dude, you can't get around. You got to get to like get all your stuff there. It's like a pain. That's why I go to Morzine, because I can like take the shuttle in and just fly in with 2 bags, and then you don't need a car, but it's not open before the World Cup start.
Yeah. You'd have to go to like
See-
Barcelona or like Nice or
Spain.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Portugal.
That'd be a fun story on how to do Europe and or World Cups the cheapest way possible. Because people have done it. You can Van Zach it.
Yeah.
Dak's done that. He looks upset about it right now. Though.
Don't put your rental car in the wall.
I just
Do
told that story the
not
other day.
crash the rental car. That does not go over well. Bounce one off the guardrail, dude. It's
Oh,
not good. Not good. It's not bumper cars, dude. You can't hit the wall and have it be okay.
Dak doesn't always make the best decisions in life.
Oh,
I was just thinking when, like, so you guys are saying, like, there's Dooley, Dante, like, Pinkerton, Colin, Irv, like, you, Dylan, like, all of you guys kind of, like, going up together at the same time. Back when, I guess, the 3 of us kind of transitioned into like national round to World Cup kind of stuff. It was like that at a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all kind of went from like the national, way worse. We went from like the national to World Cup level, not like qualifying at World Cups and making finals.
Yeah,
but dude, I think
the evolution.
I think that's the thing. Like those guys have just like racing each other in the States and just constantly like pushing each other to like beat each other. Like it's almost like trying to get your victory within the results list. Because if you're just looking at the big picture, if you're like when you're struggling to qualify and you're like, it's so unrelatable to like look at like a dude like Tebow. And you're like, that dude absolutely rails. Like he's mowing me over in practice. And you're like when you first start, and then you like have your like victories with it. One of your buddies qualifies, and it becomes like that makes the dream real. Because if you beat your buddy, and then your buddy qualifies, you're like, oh, I can do it too. And if your buddy puts it in the top 30, you're like, it's just opening your brain. Yeah, J Bro puts it in the top 30, and we're like, what? But that's opening the reality of what you think is capable for yourself, and then you're just kind of racing your buddies. And as your buddies have successes, it just makes it more realizable that you can like achieve these goals. I think, and I think that's why you see these like clusters of dudes come in, and then like just like thrive off of each other. I think you even see it now with like Ryder Lawrence and Kai and like that group of Cash and that group of dudes that's like coming up. They're like real young, but like I think Ryder Lawrence is probably the one leading that at the moment. He's probably the gnarliest of the dogs.
I mean, it's like him and Asa.
Yeah, and Asa is super gnarly. So it's like it's cool to see like that group of dudes like thriving off of each other, and I think it's cool to see that. I mean, you guys are all big dogs now. Oof, oof.
I love it.
It's cool to see.
Yeah.
It is sick. I mean, USDH is in, maybe besides our national series, USDH is in a pretty good spot.
We don't really got one of those right now, but
yeah, we got good regional scenes and
World Cup scene.
Yeah.
So coming into these next two rounds, what's the deal, dude? What are we trying to do? What are the goals? What do you feel like you can work on and improve on? And where's your head at?
I think the goal is obviously make the final, both rounds, but ain't that easy. But I think just ride and I don't know, just it's hard to really like say.
Yeah,
I think
tough.
Just take it one step at a time and just the usual race weekend and try to build and just do my thing. I don't know.
Take it.
Yeah.
Block out the outside noise.
So as you the old brain, like, so now you like, I remember seeing you on the side of the track after you qualified really well at Ludenville.
Yeah.
You qualified in a single digit, and I was like, yo, dude, what's the deal? Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? How did it feel? And you really didn't. You said it was. Well, I mean, what I remember, it wasn't anything different. You just had a good run.
Yeah,
right?
Like
I think what I said.
Yeah, I was like, like is I don't know, like a normal like quality run. Like I don't know, I made some mistakes. Like I don't know, I was just feeling like it wasn't like out of control or anything, like super fast. I don't know. And then like I was like, like I was just trying to make the top 60, and then it came down into first, and then it held for a while.
So you went and you raced all year in Europe, and you stayed and you rode these tracks and traveled around, and your speed is obviously improving, whether that's from time on the bike or being more comfortable with these rougher, steeper World Cup tracks. Does that kind of bring you some confidence going into the next few rounds that maybe like you can like find more confidence to use the brakes where you need to and focus on exit speed and not have to like ride tight and ride for your life, so to speak. Like, you know that you are in a position where if you just like have your best run and you're loose and you hit things well, like you can achieve your goal. Is that the reality is you should be able to achieve your goal.
Yeah, I think like definitely like coming in with a lot more like confidence, and then it kind of like builds like on your confidence that weekend when you're like, all right, like I know what I need to do and just ride my normal like runs and everything. Like, yeah, I think it definitely helps the confidence.
Yeah. By helping the confidence, it eases the nerves a little. You know, when you're like going through a race weekend and you're so uptight, and from the first run you're like, oh, I gotta ride fast, I gotta ride fast, and it just makes for such a stressful experience, and you're almost like get up to speed too fast and scare yourself, and it's like you don't necessarily need to do that to you. Like, you've proven to yourself now you have the speed, and it's like you can kind of ease in and just like have just a much chiller, less eventful weekend, and then maybe have a little more consistency.
Yeah, especially like for like earlier on, like I used to like stress like super hard on like quality. Like everything was about quality. Like the day before, like the practice, like you're just thinking about that quality. Like it just wears on you like mentally. But like when you're like, all right, I know my speed's gonna be there. Like I could just trust the process and I'll be up to speed by then, and then just keep going from there.
Makes it a bit easier.
Yeah.
And just knowing
sure.
that you're getting that free speed, like for you now, like you have this like pretty amazing support system around you, so you can use you know, now hopefully it'll feel like, instead of it being like you said, the pressure and people are looking at you, you'll be able to hopefully be a little more comfortable around these people to use the assets that you have. Like, you got to figure you're probably getting 2 free seconds just from having those guys on the side of the track, like timing things for you that you would have never had before. So now that you have this, like, the bike works well, you're going to be able to save energy. You're going to have more energy to exert in your runs. I think it's pretty cool to like start to, I mean, obviously you haven't been with this program for that long, but I know for me personally, like when I came on to like one of the bigger teams, it was really hard on me. I felt like people were really looking at me to produce, and but I realized more as time went by that people were just there to help me, and they just want to see you do your best, whatever that is. Like, if you do your best, people are happy. So I think as you get like comfortable with this like new program and team, like it's cool to know that there's almost free speed in the bank because you have these assets to use. Like, and if you're not afraid to use them, it's going to be pretty cool to like watch that last couple of rounds and see like how that goes for you. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That'll be sick. I agree.
That's all I got, dog.
That's all you got.
That's what I got for you. Unless you've always got any more questions.
Dax out. I got some simple questions here real quick. You were on Monster Army, but then you had a new Monster helmet. Are you on like the big M now, like Monster legit?
No, still Army, but like I was talking to, I asked Tebow, like, I was like telling him like that about that stuff and everything, and then he was like, oh, like, well, we got this helmet, so he just handed me that one. They painted the back of it and stickered it with my name and stuff, and then called it good. So
rad. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Sick looking helmet.
Yeah, that helmet is pretty good looking, I will say, for a logoed up helmet. Music before race run. What are you listening to?
Did you see the story?
No. What was your story?
There was like a little like clip, just like some Taylor Swift before the race run.
Like new Taylor or like old Taylor?
Yeah.
Like a bit older.
Yeah. All right. Like more
like
country
that.
Taylor or like
a little bit. All right. A little bit of both.
Is that calming? Is that your aim there?
I don't know. Just it
feels like home.
gets me going. Yeah.
It's been his happy place.
I
Yeah.
love it. Since you're younger than us, I'm curious, like, which racers you draw inspiration from or like idolize in a way. Like our generation's like Sam Hill and dudes like that. Just curious who you kind of look at as, drawn inspiration to.
I would say like Bruni and Omri. They're both like completely different, but like I don't know, like Bruni's just so smooth the entire time, and then you got Omri like a bit more looser and just full gas. Insane.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's sick.
Yeah.
I mean,
look up to those guys.
those are two good dudes to put your eyes on for sure. Shit. All right. We got 2 World Cups left. Then your traveling's done for the year. What are you looking forward to doing most once the season ends?
Ooh. Probably go hit the beach.
Sick.
Go hang out at the beach, some surfing and chilling.
Heck yeah. What beach you go to from where you are?
Santa Cruz or like Pacifica.
Okay.
Usually like Santa Cruz, better waves.
Sick.
But,
Heck yeah.
Are you on are you on the stand-up jet ski hype with all the boys?
I'm not, but I might have to invest.
That's the off-season activity right there.
I can get behind this.
Dude, all the boys in Sacramento.
Team NorCal things, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, they all are on
Austin
stand-up.
Hackett has one now too.
No.
God.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Wait, have you ever ridden with Austin Hackett? He actually moved there right as you probably left for the season.
Wait, does he ride a Specialized?
He works for Specialized at the R&D center in Auburn.
Dude, I actually I met him at like when I came home. I went up to North Star for like a day and showed my trail bike, but like hung out. They had like a race and he was there, and then with another Specialized guy that I know, and then he introduced us and stuff and rode a couple laps and stuff. Yeah, I just met him.
Oh, that's funny.
AHK.
Dude, AHK won the race.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Dude, he shreds.
Yeah.
That's your new riding buddy.
Yeah, if you're looking to ride downhill, hit up AHK.
Like straight up though, it's actually pretty good in right there. He can ride during the week too, unlike most adults. So
yeah, he can call it work.
Yeah. You might be able to pull somebody else in to shuttle for work.
Too busy to podcast, but can definitely fit some laps in.
They probably won't ride with me because they're always testing stuff though.
Yeah, that is a factor. You just gotta like
want me to see it.
Yeah, say you'll sign something, you know.
An NDA.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't really care that much. It's fine.
Just put like
links,
fabric
the links
over
below
it.
the bottom bracket. Just speculating. Well, I think that's kind of I'm all out of questions. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so. I'm just stoked to see the next couple races.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me as well.
Me too.
Yeah. How do you feel about racing into October actually?
Well, it depends how the weather is.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it as long as it's not like snowing in Mount St. Anne or anything. Or
I'm up here.
Fine, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm up here in Vermont right now, and it's cold. Like I was riding like the last run, like I had a base layer on in my jersey, and I was like, I'm cold. Like it's cold.
All time, fall time, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
there are seasons in that part of the world.
Yeah,
like
leaves are turning.
Sure. Although you can pretty much guarantee if it snows at Mont Saint Anne, they'll just cancel the race. So no need to worry. Just make sure you qualify good.
Yeah.
Qualifying is gonna be real important those last 2 rounds. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with us. It's been rad watching your last 2 seasons evolve, and yeah, man, I think we're all excited to watch these last 2 rounds. It should be good.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Dude, no worries. Maybe we'll have to do this again some other time. It's It's pretty fun.
Some other
Enjoyable.
time.
Another time. Dak, good luck this weekend. Try to win 15K so then you can fly us out to come hang out with you.
Yep.
That's the first thing I'm spending that 15 grand on is your shining face
Thank you.
in my
Hey,
living room.
You didn't buy us tickets last year after you won, and that was part of the deal. So,
Well, actually,
Dude.
he's gonna buy his own ticket, and then
yeah, or you can fly to San Diego.
Well, no,
Beautiful
just
San
fly us
Diego.
out to Tennessee because it'd be easier with things since Jason lives in Mexico now, and
I'm not that south. I am close. I can smell the tacos. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Be Practice Podcast. Thank you, as always, to Max Berg Tech and Industry 9 for supporting this. And we'll probably see you guys next week after the U.S. Open.
hear about Dak's weekend.
And to hear about what he's going to do with 15 grand.
Peace.